Hello everyone. Crypto markets are starting to be more optimistic. Little by little, we can see that the Bitcoin has gone in the sister trend. We can see that the alcohols are about to reach levels of important resistance and they are looking to break them today. I have to talk about if we can trust in this rally upwards, but I will also talk about something that many people are losing completely. Many people are watching the action of the prices in the short term, but if you do zoom out, you can see something incredible is worth something that is happening in the markets at this moment. And I am going to support this theory not only with a point of data, but also with 2 points of additional data. So you want to see this video from beginning to end. If you are worried about more falls, then make sure to stay from the beginning to the end. If you are new to this channel, make sure to subscribe and activate the bell. Right now, let's get directly into the matter. What you can see for the Bitcoin is that we have had 2 green candles in a row. This, at least, it is good to see the markets are becoming little by little a little more optimistic. You can see that this current daily candle is still red. But if we close this by more than 84,400 approximately, we will also close this green candle. Then what is the reason for the market, for the Bitcoin to go up slowly and for the altcoins to potentially do the same? The thing is that they have been hitting us very hard, and for Bitcoin, yes, but for the altcoins especially, you see that, look at Ethereum. Ethereum has lowered incredible amounts since there is not even the maximum historical, but from the local peak, we have lowered 55%. The reason why the market is slowly becoming more optimistic again is because we are already seeing some promising signals, but also because we have already lowered a lot. Essentially, we are running out of sellers. And if we look at the Bitcoin in the daily time frame and we go to the monthly, you can see that in the monthly, we are still above the level of $81,600. But look at this candle. This is an indecisive candle. So let's see. We still have 15 days left in this month to see how this is going to close. But little by little, I am becoming more optimistic. The question is that given any opportunity to buy, I still believe that any opportunity to buy below $81,000, and even at these price levels, if you give them enough time, it will continue to be a very good opportunity. But right now I am observing the markets and I am not closing any of my operations. As you already know, I still have all my operations open operations. I have a huge exposure in long as I have been showing you onto the channel, as you know, all the trading strategies. If I have added some coverage in short here, small assignments of 20% in the main altcoins for XRP and ADA, I am still assigned 100% in long, because the reason why I did not add a short coverage for these is because Cardano and XRP in particular looked quite good at this time. And since then, yes, Cardano and XRP have been going up, but hey, if we see some kind of final capitulation, and if we have the opportunity to buy here at $72,000, this I think would be a huge gift. But I am not going to take that risk because it would probably not go down to 72. We are probably going to try to go up slowly from this point, but I only say that if we have that opportunity, I will buy very strong at these levels. But I am still a long-term asset. I have never changed my position, and I still believe that we are in an asset market. And I still believe that in 2026, probably mid or late 2026, we will see the peak of the market. I have said it during the last year and a half, and I will continue to say it until we reach 2026 at that time. And we will see if it happens or not. But that is my position in terms of the altcoins. And we look at each other, it was a success to overcome the resistance here in the orange line. It is trying to stay above this point here. This is nothing compared to the base trend that we have seen, of course. But maybe we can be a little more optimistic here, and I will talk about why. Although the price action seems very boring here to say, be patient. And I will talk about why it is still very important to continue observing this. If we look at Solana, we are just below the resistance in $135. I want to see a good rise above 151. Because this means that most of my trading strategies with Solana will be operating actively. If we look at Doge seeing a good rebound of the support level, if we look at Cardano trying to get closer to the resistance in 80 cents, and we look at XRP because this is very clean here, in the resistance, tried to break the resistance yesterday, he could not do it, push down, and now look at this red candle here. It is an alcista candle. We are squeezing, trying to overcome this point to go up. Okay, things look very good here. I would say yes, with a long-term perspective, things for Bitcoin and for these main altcoins, things look very good, but we must be prepared for short-term volatility. If we look at the traditional markets, when we close on Friday, We saw a great green candle in these markets on Friday. Then because we saw this green candle, because, well, simply the mere mention and the probability that things were more optimistic made a large part of the market of values go green, because 28 hours had passed since the last commercial war title, and there were no important titles in terms of war and things like that with the situation in Ukraine, Russia. This shows us that the market really wants to buy again. People are only afraid of what Donald Trump is going to say next. If he is going to add a 95% arancel to any commodity, this is what is scaring the market. And we are starting to see that the liquidity returns, and we are potentially starting to see the beginning of quantitative flexibilization and the end of quantitative restriction. And all these things at a level are at a general level and will lead to much higher prices for these assets. I am optimistic in the long term, and in the short term, I am cautious. I am also starting to be more optimistic again, but cautious. The reason has to do with two of these graphs that I am going to show here in a moment. In the first place, I also want to talk quickly about my trading strategies. Currently, we are below $657,000 in the current lot of trading strategies. As I said, I want the Bitcoin to go up above $88,000, because then my main boat, the first boat I have, is going to start operating again. And we are quite far from the first trading strategy starting to operate again. But the boat of Solana, the first of Solana, we have to go up above 151. What would be incredible Doge is operating right now. One thing that I will show you is these here. I have my Doge coverage, which is a short, and I have my Doge in long that I opened a few days ago. Also, in reality, 5 days ago, as you can see, 5 days ago in the short and 5 days in the long. If we look at the benefit, they opened more or less at the same price. It is worth 17.5 for the short boat and 17.5 for the long boat, almost the same price. However, the earnings are 2.3% in the long boat and around half a percentage point in the short boat. Both are profitable despite the fact that they opened at the same time due to the algorithm. Here I am both in the long and in the short. But in general, I am making money because the algorithm takes advantage of this volatility. That is why over time the trading strategies are going to surpass the rest of the market. And if we are waiting, it has been hard lately because it serves in particular, and Solana have been so strongly affected by the falls in general. Many altcoins have dropped 80 to 95%. But once we start to see that optimism returns and all these trading strategies here that are with great losses right now, this strategy of saying less than $500,000, if the algorithm has added $153,000 in profit, so in total 340, at least it is much better than simply holding Ethereum. But if once we start to see that prices go up again, I will have millions of dollars in profits, which is going to be a glorious day. I'm not going to close these strategies. I still believe that we are in a market, but I do have some short coverages here with small assignments, a 20% in general. And I will probably also add one for XRP and Cardano now. Higher prices to enter with an assignment of 20 or 15% on the short side. But all this looks very good, in my opinion. If you want to enter yourself in the strategies, go to the description of this video, first register in PayNX using this link here, claim the deposit bonuses using this one here, and then you can copy my strategies in long using these links. And if you want to go short, you can also copy my short strategies using these links. If you want to use it for any other alcohol, then you click on this link here. Okay, now let me show you why we are in a very particular and important moment in the first place this week. Is going to be very volatile. Things are going to happen, especially on Wednesday, when the decision on the types of interest of the Bank of Japan, the decision of the Federal Reserve on the types of the press conference of the Federal Reserve. But what is more important, the economic projection of the FOMC. This is 4 times a year. The Federal Reserve comes out and basically tells you what to see, what is going to happen with the economy. Depending on what they're going to say here, it is going to cause a lot of volatility because people are going to read this and try to find out if the Federal Reserve is saying that they are going to start printing money again or not. That is essentially what this economic projection is. So expect a lot of volatility, but let's talk more about this. If we look where we are right now in the altcoins market, if we look at the white line, it is Bitcoin. And then we have in green the width of the Bollinger Band for Bitcoin that is essentially shows us the volatility of Bitcoin. And then we have the altcoins here in purple or pink, which is the total 2, which is each altcoin in addition to Bitcoin. And I think that maybe also, I'm not sure if it is included in the total 2, But hey, it shows the altcoins market in general. What you can see is that when Bitcoin reaches the upper part of the green line, normally we have some consolidation, and then Bitcoin goes up and the altcoins market explodes completely. We have the stock market, we go down. We have this consolidation in yellow, as we saw the consolidation phase in yellow here. Then we have the point at which we reach the green line consolidation, and then we take off for Bitcoin and for the altcoins. And if we look at this cycle, we have had the consolidation, we have reached the green line. Now we are consolidating. Remember that every time we reach the green line, we have a period of consolidation. And then we begin to see how the Bitcoin market and the altcoins market goes absolutely crazy now. All this coincides with my thesis that we are going to reach the peak in 2026. It coincides with the thesis that Donald Trump is pressing the markets right now at a low to then let them shoot up in a few months. It also coincides with the thesis that the Federal Reserve is going to stop restricting the monetary supply, and they are going to add more liquidity in the market, which is going to make our assets rise. It coincides with so many different things, which leads me to the greatest opportunity at this moment, because if we look at the altcoins index, this essentially shows us if we are in an alt season or not. Many people wanted to buy altcoins here in December, just when the altcoins were at their peak. For many altcoins, we were up here, and I said we are at the peak, near the peak of the alt season at this time, and if this can continue, but we are overloaded. And this is when I said that most of the altcoins are going to tend to zero in the long term. So be careful with altcoins in general, if the quality altcoins are going to continue working well. But in the altcoins market in general, we have to keep an eye on the altcoins index. And we saw how we went down. Everyone wanted to buy here, but look where we are right now. We are very low in the altcoins index, and now no one wants to buy altcoins. But this is the other way around. You should want to sell altcoins when we are very overvalued, and you should want to buy altcoins when we are completely destroyed. And now the altcoins index, the altcoins market has been receiving a huge beating. But this is where it gets interesting, to enter more altcoins positions. All this shows me that we are in a very good opportunity right now, in my opinion. If you only have a longer time perspective, if you still think that we are in an asset market, then I think that the altcoins and Bitcoin have a very bright future. We have to cap the time. We have to understand that there will be volatility depending on all the news that are going to come out. But if we zoom out in the long and medium term, we still have a very good look. And as I said, my altcoin strategies, if you want to enter them, you have the links in the description. This is what I have for you. Thank you for watching this video, and see you in the next one.